Hello, Math 96. Happy Monday. Today we're going to do notes on your white notebook, page 84 for radical expressions. At the top of page 84, could you please write down the essential question? What are the steps to determine the value of a fourth or fifth root? And then tonight's homework, just make sure that you update any last minute missing assignments to your old digital workbook for triad number 5. It closes this Friday, and no late work will be accepted after Friday, April 16th. Okay. So I want to make sure that you know that this chart is available to you. It is on page 4 of your notebook. It has two things on it here. It has both the square and the square root. It has, so like 2 squared is 4, square root of 4 is equal to 2. So it has the cube and then the cube root. 4th power, 4th root. 5th power, 5th root. 6th power, 6th root. So on the next page here, I just made the columns a little bit bigger because I want you to focus on the square root, cube root, 4th root, 5th root, and 6th root. And so you should convert these whenever you see them in a problem. So what is the cubed root of 27? The answer is 3. What is the 4th root of 16? The answer is 2. What's the 6th root of 64? The answer is 2. What's the square root of 49? The answer is 7. Okay? So on this chart, you want to focus on the roots for what we're doing right now. Okay? But you should be familiar with both sides or all information on this chart. Okay? Alrighty. So there we go. Let's get started. Well, your notes and homework from today, sorry, just your notes, will be put into the triad number 6 digital workbook. So everything that we do from today until the end of the school year will go into triad number 6 digital workbook. And then after lunch today, please go to Google Classroom and open up your new triad number 6 digital workbook and add your name to the first slide. So I was having trouble with Google Slides this morning. I couldn't get the digital workbook, the new one, to load up. Okay, so here we go. All right, let me grab a pen. So the principal square root, the non-negative answer when taking a square root is called the principal square root. And C is the square root of A if C squared equals A. So then we also have cubed roots and odd or even nth roots. So that you say that is nth roots. So here's a cube root, and then n is just that position there. So you can have a 4th root, a 5th root. Now, if you notice, you probably have never written a square root with the little 2 there. It's just one of those hidden numbers. So you're going to start needing to fill that in, okay? This is a square root. So you've probably seen the square root of 25 equals 5. Well, you have to now fill in that little hidden 2. Keep in mind that that's there. All right, let's do some problems. So these are all square roots. So just to practice, please fill in the little 2 for square root. Now these you should be familiar with. Square root of 49. You can break down 49 into 7 times 7. So the answer to square root of 49 is just 7 because there's a pair of 7s. When there's a negative on the outside, you need to bring it down. 8 times 8 is 64. Square root of 64 is 8. And when there's a negative on the outside, you leave it on the outside, so it's negative 8. Now, square root, when there's a negative in the inside, there is, for right now, this is an imaginary answer. We'll be covering that later because you don't have a pair. You have 2 different items, a 4 and a negative 4. So you cannot do the square root of a negative right now. It's an imaginary answer. We'll cover that later. Okay, x squared just means x times x, so there's a pair. So the square root of x squared is just x. And then this just breaks down 9 into 3 times 3. So the square root of 9 is 3. And then x to the 10th, you just want to see how many pairs there are of x's. I'm going to have to move my 3 a little bit. Okay. So how many pairs? You need 2, right? Because it's square root. So I have 1, that's an x. That's an x. It's another x. It's another x. That's another x. Just like right here, a pair of 3's came out as 3. A pair of x's came out as an x. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So x to the 5th. Okay, let's do another one. 144 is 12 times 12. So you have a pair of 12's that can come out. So it comes out as just a 12. X to the 6. There's 6 x's. So we have an x, an x, and an x. So that's x to the 3rd. Y to the 8th. There's 4, 6, 8. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4 that can come out. And z squared is just z times z. So a z comes out. So as a pair, it comes out as 1. So this comes out as 1, 2, 3, 4 pairs, y to the 4th. X, 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 X to the 3rd, 3 pairs. Okay, we're going to keep moving on. Now we're going to do cubed roots. So 2 times 2 times 2. Whatever your index here is, you need 3 of the same item. Cubed root of 8 is just 2. Now you can also look at this chart. Cubed root of 8 is 2. Okay, next one. Fourth root of 81. If you want to break it down, 81 is 9 times 9. Then I can break down the 9's into 3 times 3. I need 4 of the same item to come out. So the fourth root of 81 is 3. You can also look right on this chart. The fourth root of 81 is 3. Okay, cubed root of negative 27. So I can break this down as 9 times negative 3. I can break down a 9 as a negative 3 times a negative 3. That's true. Negative times negative is positive 9. And I have 3 of the negative 3. So the final answer here is negative 3. So it's okay when you have an odd root, a 3, a 5, a 7, to have a negative in the inside. It is not okay when you have an even root to have a negative in the inside. Okay, 2 more. Don't be afraid of fractions. Just go ahead. This is fourth root. And break it up into top and bottom. The fourth root of 1, well, that's just 1 times 1 times 1 times 1. There's 4 of them, so it's 1. Fourth root of 16. 16 is 4 times 4, and then we can break those up into 2's. There's 4 2's, so the fourth root of 16 is 2. So the answer is 1/2. Can also look over here. Fourth root of 16 is 2. Okay, how about the fifth root of 32? Let's look at our chart. Fifth root of 32 is right here, 2. So the fifth root of 32 is 2. Let me just erase a little bit here. There we go. Fifth root of 32, it comes out as a 2. Now it takes 5 to get out. I have x to the 8th. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It takes 5 to get out, so I got out. What is left then is 3. X to the 3rd has to stay in the inside. Now I'm going to do the y's. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the fifth root of y to the fifth comes out as just y, and here's our final answer. And we'll go over these some more. I know that it's a bit of new practice for you. And we're going to skip this one. So we're going to practice this again tomorrow. Please make sure you're in class. Thanks and have a great day. There's no homework.